Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing great today. Appreciate those of you watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, leave some comments below, especially if you've already seen this movie. It's an oldie, and I can't believe I'm saying it's an oldie considering it came out in my childhood. But hey, there it is. We all grow up, right? Yeah, so if you have comments about this movie, if you've seen it before, leave them below. I'm interested in reading what you guys thought about this movie. This movie is called The Wraith. It stars Charlie Sheen. It's basically about a guy who was murdered right in front of his girlfriend a little bit. He comes back to life, but he comes back to life and he owns this cool car, and he takes on the gang members that killed him. These guys, these gang members that like to drag race people, like to race them and take their vehicles from them. So that's what he does, gets his revenge for this car. It kind of reminds me of a movie called The Crow with starring Brandon Lee. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already heard of it. A lot of you guys have heard of that movie, probably more than this one. In the way that, he was murdered, came back to life, and then he gets revenge on the gang member that took him out. And, he tries to reconnect with his girlfriend. Been a while since I've seen The Crow. Last time I saw The Crow was when it was in the movie theaters. I don't remember how that one ended, and I remember very little of it. But let's get back to The Wraith. Yeah, so The Wraith does remind me of the movie The Crow. It's a good old revenge movie, and I kind of like this. I've been watching a lot of these movies, like The House of the Ninjas, and then I've been watching another movie, I can't remember the top of my head what I've been watching here. But, on these ones, the heroes are always kind of lenient, they're like, they don't want to kill people. But what's good about this one is that this guy's back for revenge, and he has no qualms of killing these villains, these gang members. It is a pretty good movie. It has Charlie Sheen in it. Young Charlie Sheen, almost didn't recognize him. I forgot how handsome he was back in the day. He's almost as good looking as I am now. Anyways, this movie does have some interesting characters, especially on the gang side of things. The gang members are quite interesting and quite engaging, I guess you can say. You have this dude who's always trying to get high. He's drinking like oil and all kinds of like WD-40. I think he's drinking it and sniffing stuff all over the place. I guess it was kind of ahead of his time in that aspect for those people who like to take meth. Anybody who likes to digest car battery, you got to be desperate for a good hit. And so you got that guy who's always trying to get high off of car fluids, I guess you could say. And then you have another guy named Gutter Boy. Yep, they call him Gutter Boy. And he's kind of slow. Back in the day, you would call him retarded. You kind of feel like all the villains, I do kind of feel sorry for Gutter Boy. Just because you can just tell he's not all there. He's just following the gang members, and they're doing bad, so he's kind of just trying to fit in with them, and he's doing bad stuff. Kind of feel sorry for his ending, still doesn't give an excuse for helping murder a person. But if he was hanging out with better people, he would have been a good guy, just because he was kind of slow and kind of like a follower. These guys accepted him, and you can tell that's why he's basically in this gang. The good old our gang leader here, can't remember his name off the top of my head. The actor, I think he did a pretty good job with this role. I'm sorry, this ain't the best reviews. This isn't the worst review channel on YouTube for nothing, But anyways, I think he does a pretty good job. The villains you really hate. My God, I just forgot. Clint Howard is in this one. He's on the gang. And if you know Clint Howard, you've seen him in other movies. He's always bald. And this one, it looks weird because he has this big afro. And he has a lot of hair. But I think you can kind of tell it's a wig. Anyways, he's kind of like their technician guy. He's this guy who kind of soups up their car and stuff. I will say what I was surprised about this movie, though. As a kid, I thought it took place a lot at nighttime. I was totally wrong. This movie, even though it's about these guys doing illegal drag racing on the roads, it takes place during the daytime. Which I gotta give credit to those people who live out there in Arizona, which I believe this is where this movie takes place. Drag racing during the daytime, with all the traffic and the cops. Gotta hand it to you guys if you really do that. It's very brave out here in my neck of the woods. You only go drag racing when it's like nighttime, like pitch dark. Never been drag racing illegally or legally, by the way, but I've heard about it. Okay, it's like, anyways, when we do drag racing out here, it's at nighttime when there's no traffic. But yeah, if you want to do drag racing during the day, go right ahead. I can understand why the word drag racing during the daytime though, because the road that they were racing on was very curvy and big cliffs. Having said that, this movie, I'm trying to think where I want to go with this. Movie has an awesome soundtrack. Like the songs that they play in this are really good. Like got a lot of good 80s hits in there. If there's one reason to watch this, it is for the soundtrack. It's very good on this one. A lot of cool songs. Really enjoyed the soundtrack as I was watching this. So whoever picked out those songs, did an excellent job. It's kind of like, Guardians of the Galaxy, how you got, Awesome Mix 1 or whatever you call it. You got some cool songs. I think the soundtrack might be better than Guardians of the Galaxies, to be honest. I don't know, like the racing scenes were pretty cool. It got some good camera shots, good cinematography. This show could have gone a little bit more into the lore. Like, you don't really know how our victim comes back from the dead. Our hero comes back to the dead. I feel like I don't say this very often. This movie could have been about 5 or 10 minutes longer, just so we could understand how it was possible that he came back. There's no explanation whatsoever. Unlike the movie The Crow, you actually get some of the idea of why he was able to come back. And this one, you have none of this history, no mythology whatsoever. It's just he gets murdered, and then it begins with like a comic or something shooting through the sky. And next thing you know, you got this guy with a rad car taking on his gang members and stuff. And I also like to say that these gang members, I mean, there might be evil people, but these guys are not quitters whatsoever. Because when they're drag racing, he is blowing by them like nowhere in sight, and they're still pedal to the metal trying to catch up with him. I mean, if they were quitters, all of them would still be alive. Let's just say that right now. But yeah, so going back to it, I think this movie could have gone a little bit more on like why he was able to come back. I guess it was kind of leaning to that mystery part of the movie. And then the villain, go a little bit more on him. He's kind of like Back to the Future Biff, only on steroids. Like this guy, like he's obsessed with this girl. He doesn't want nobody around her or dating her or talking to her whatsoever. And so that's basically why he murdered our hero of the movies, because he's messing with this girl. So yeah, he's kind of psycho in that way. If you're somebody who watches a lot of Japanese anime or Asian shows, we would call him a yandere. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Any social commentary in this? Not much, just that gang members are bad, I guess. And the people left behind, nobody really stood up to these gang members, which gave them the confidence to do what they did, I guess, stand up to evil, stuff like that. In there, another part of this is kind of useless, kind of going over the place right now, is the cop. We got the cop, Randy Quaid, sorry, wrong brother, Randy Quaid. He's trying to investigate this, and at the end of the day, he's kind of like, kind of shrugs his shoulders like, well, all the gang members are, spoiler alert here, this movie is very old anyways. It's like, all the gang members are dead, I guess I'll just stop with the investigation. That's it. He didn't really care. And I'm trying to think, if the hero really loves his brother or not. You do got a connection. But, he's murdering people with his car. And at the end of the movie, he gives his car to his brother. Are you trying to set your brother up for prison time or what, dude? That's the question there. I guess other things that sticks out. Great soundtrack. A lot of the girls are very good looking. And the guys are too, I guess. If you're a woman wanting to watch this, I guess you can say. Anyways, would if you're new to the channel, are you still sticking around? Nobody sticks around this long. But we give 3 grades. Recommend with caution, recommend, and recommend, highly recommend. We're going to give this one a... This is a borderline recommend with caution. With recommend for somebody, if you're like a gearhead, this is for you. Awesome cars. They're all talking about cars a lot in this one, about the engines and stuff. You'll love it. Love the soundtrack. Like I said, the story could have used a little bit more fleshing out. Like, why is he doing this? Why is he able to come back? You know, why does parts of the car disappear after he kills somebody? What's all with that stuff? Just some things need to be explained a little bit more flesh into it. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great day. If you've seen this, leave your comments below. Thank you for hanging around for 11 minutes. Have a great day. Bye.